There's a moment in a recent press interview where a journalist asks Ella Bright a slightly uncomfortable question. And before she can even open her mouth, Belmont Cameli cuts in, smoothly, naturally, like he's been doing it his whole life. And the thing is, nobody in that room seems surprised. Because it's not the first time. It's not even the fifth time. And once you start noticing it, you genuinely cannot stop. Stay with me until the end of this video, because I've gone back through nearly every major press event these two have done together, from red carpets, to roundtables, to live fan Q&As, and what I found is actually kind of remarkable. This isn't just a co-star being polite. There is a pattern here, and it tells you a lot about who Belmont Cameli is, and honestly, what might be going on between them off camera. If you're new here, subscribe right now, because this channel covers Ella and Belmont deeper than anyone else, and we are just getting started. For anyone who needs a quick refresher, Ella Bright and Belmont Cameli are co-stars on Off Campus, the show that has basically taken over the internet this year. Their chemistry on screen is the kind of thing that makes people rewatch scenes 4 and 5 times. But what's interesting, and what a lot of people are starting to talk about, is that the chemistry doesn't switch off when the cameras stop rolling. It follows them into every press room, every fan event, every interview setup where they're sitting side by side. And Belmont, specifically, has developed what I can only describe as a quiet, consistent habit of looking out for Ella. Not in an obvious way, not in a performative way, in a way that almost feels instinctive. Before I get into the specific moments, hit subscribe if you haven't already. I cover every Ella and Belmont update as it happens. And trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming later this week. There's an interview, I'll link it in the description, where the host pivots mid-conversation and asks Ella something slightly personal about her life before Off Campus. It's the kind of question that's designed to catch someone off guard. And you can see in Ella's face, just for a split second, that she wasn't expecting it. Her smile stays, but her eyes shift. And that's exactly when Belmont steps in. He doesn't interrupt rudely. He doesn't make it awkward. He just smoothly redirects the conversation. Oh, I actually have something to say about that. And he takes the question, gives a full answer. And by the time the host tries to circle back to Ella, the moment has passed. Now, you could argue that's just good co-star energy. That's just someone comfortable in an interview who wanted to fill a silence. But here's what makes it interesting. Watch his eyes right before he speaks. He looks at her first. It's fast, less than a second, but it's there. He clocked her discomfort and made a decision. That's not accidental. That's awareness. And here's what I want you to hold on to as we go through the rest of this video. This is not one moment in isolation. What I'm about to show you is a sequence of behaviors that, when you line them up together, paint a very specific picture. Stay with me, because the next one is even more telling. This one is subtle, but once you see it, you'll lose your mind a little. There are multiple photos and videos from press junkets, where Ella and Belmont are in a large group setting. Cast roundtables, group fan interactions, that kind of thing. And if you watch Belmont's body positioning throughout these events, there's something consistent happening. Whenever the group dynamic shifts, whenever someone approaches from Ella's side, or whenever the energy in the room changes, Belmont physically angles himself slightly toward her. Not in a dramatic way, not in a way that reads as possessive, just present, like a buffer. Body language experts actually have a term for this. It's something people do instinctively, for people they feel protective of. And the key word there is instinctively. You can fake a lot of things in celebrity press. You can fake laughter, fake enthusiasm, fake closeness. You cannot really fake the unconscious way your body positions itself around another person when you're genuinely invested in them. Here's another one. Watch what Belmont does when Ella gets a compliment in an interview, when a host says something nice about her performance, or when a fan asks her about a scene she did particularly well. A lot of co-stars in that situation will just nod, smile, maybe echo the sentiment. Belmont does something different. He adds to it, almost every time. he'll jump in with a specific detail. And what people don't know is that she did that entire scene in one take. Or she actually came up with that line herself, that wasn't even in the script. He's not just agreeing, he's building the case. He's offering receipts. He's the hype man who clearly paid attention. And that matters because it tells you he's watching. He notices her work. He retains it. He brings it up unprompted when she's being praised, like he's been keeping a mental file of moments he wants the world to know about. There's also a really interesting pattern around difficult topics. Whenever an interviewer pushes towards something that feels like it might be controversial, asking about the show's more intense storylines, asking about personal life, asking about social media pressure, Belmont has this move where he takes the weight of the question. He'll go first, give a long and detailed answer, and by the time it's Ella's turn, the energy has shifted. The host is satisfied, the moment is diffused, and Ella can answer on her own terms instead of in the middle of a charged atmosphere. It's actually a really sophisticated move, and I don't think he's doing it consciously as some PR strategy. I think he just genuinely does not want her to be put in an uncomfortable position in front of an audience. That's something. So why does Belmont Cameli keep doing this? There are a few ways to read it. One is that they've just built a genuinely strong friendship over the course of filming, and this is what deep co-star trust looks like. That's entirely possible. When you spend months playing emotionally intimate scenes with someone, you build a kind of bond that doesn't just disappear when the director calls cut. Another reading, and this is the one that a lot of people in the comments seem to be leaning toward, is that this goes beyond friendship. The consistency of it, the instinctiveness of it, the way it doesn't feel like performance, it reads like something that has weight to it. Like he's not protecting a colleague, he's protecting someone he genuinely cares about in a way that is hard to categorize neatly. And I think Ella knows it too. Watch her reactions when he does it. There's no surprise, no awkwardness. She doesn't correct him or redirect. She just lets it happen, with this quiet ease that suggests she's used to it, that she trusts it. Here's the thing about all of this. We live in an era where celebrity press dynamics are incredibly calculated. Publicists prep their clients for every possible question. Co-stars are coached on how to be likable together without giving anything real away. The whole system is designed to protect image at the expense of authenticity. And then you have Belmont Cameli, apparently just doing what he feels, in real time, in front of cameras, instinctively gravitating toward Ella, instinctively amplifying her, instinctively shielding her when the room shifts. Whatever is or isn't happening between them off camera, and I have thoughts, and I will be making another video about that specifically, what is undeniable is that he sees her, fully, and he acts on it in a way that most people never do for anyone. That's what I've got for this one. Go back and watch some of their press content with fresh eyes. I promise you'll see everything I've just described and more. And then come down to the comments and tell me, do you think this is just deep friendship? Or is there something more there? Real connection or just really good co-star chemistry? Drop your answer below. I read every single one. And if you want to see the follow-up video where I break down specific moments that suggest this goes way beyond friendship, subscribe right now so you don't miss it. See you in the next one.